If you look at the Shiva Sena, the Shinde faction, it's 55.
More than what they had won in 2019 unitedly.
As in UP, they would say तो भयंकर बेइज्जती हो गई.
बहुत बड़ी बेइज्जती है. And मैंने ये कहा कि legacy की जो बात कर रहे थे ना हम इतने दिन से.
लेकिन मैं तो कहूँगी that the biggest loser, and Dr. Uday can also come in here, and if you guys want to, no, not Sharad Pawar. Actually, the biggest loser is Ajit Pawar. Let me give you a reason. 35. He's done very well. I mean, the seats are almost double that of Sharad Pawar's, more than double actually, as Dr. Uday is pointing out. But he is no longer the kingmaker.
But he was never the kingmaker.
Suniye. In fact, if the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Shiva Sena, Mr. Shinde themselves decided to go on there, they still have the numbers. So, matlab, Ajit Pawar ka jo importance tha, wo kam hua hai.
See, let me be very honest.
Dr. Uday, give me a minute.
Let me be very honest with you. You are considering Ajit Pawar's number with 2019, but any person on the ground would consider Ajit or compare Ajit Pawar's number with the Lok Sabha elections that were held 6 months ago. एक सीट पे जीता था. And that too, I again say कि अगर वो अजीत पवार के साथ भी नहीं होते, सुनील तटकरे would have won that seat. Raigad is a very pro Sunil Tatkare seat. His daughter is winning from there. मैं ना उदय जी के एक ही चीज से मैं जब आया तब उदय जी कह रहे थे कि देवेंद्र फडणवीस सीएम बनने चाहिए या अब एकनाथ शिंदे को हटा देना चाहिए. उदय जी मैं जिस अखबार में असिस्टेंट एडिटर था वो वहाँ के एडिटर इन चीफ हुआ करते थे एक ज़माने में. तो आई वुड लाइक टू जस्ट पॉइंट आउट वन सिंपल थिंग ऑफ द अमाउंट आई अंडरस्टैंड भारतीय जनता पार्टी. नीदर इज अजीत पवार बीइंग अबैंडन्ड एंड नीदर विल शिंदे बी अबैंडन्ड. आई थिंक गोइंग अगेंस्ट द unpopular opinion or popular opinion, मेरे को बहुत गाली पड़ी है कल से. I believe that Shinde will continue as the CM, even though I want Devendra Fadnavis to be the CM, but Shinde will continue as the CM. Devendra Fadnavis might not.
But the roles can reverse. Given that 125 is Bharatiya Janata Party.
It wouldn't look good, na?
Why?
Pictorial जो आप देखोगे उस हिसाब से अच्छा नहीं लगेगा. And right now I think the system in Maharashtra, it is more about photo ops. वो continue होगा.
Doctor Uday? Because I thought the RSS was very clear.
Two comments.
If the BJP gets the numbers, our boy becomes the chief ministers.
Two comments. I never used the word BJP will abandon Sena or Ajit Pawar. I never said that. What I said, since BJP gave... मैंने आपको नहीं कहा. अरे भैया सुन लो ना भैया सुन लो ना. Since BJP has given their career best in terms of strike rate and in terms of number of seats. If my numbers are correct at this point of time, they are going to touch 130 seats and that's the best strike rate they can give. That's number one. If that is the case, it would be the strongest demand of the BJP MLAs that we must get the chief ministership, and undoubtedly the Sahara will go to Devendra Fadnavis. So from that angle, I said that's number two. I don't know why Sanjay Raut did not mention about 14 seats which they are winning in Mumbai instead of accusing everything else. What they should have said, thank you very much Mumbai, that you are giving me 14 seats. That's not bad. That's not bad for them in Mumbai. Rest everywhere they are routed out. Imagine Konkan, Congress got 0. Sharad Pawar Tutari in Mumbai got 0. Vidarbha, BJP is getting 45 seats. That's a huge landslide since,
absolutely,
I don't know, last 10 elections. I mean, this is most unexpected, I would say. Some of the best Congress leaders are losing, and I feel very sad for them that they were the best parliamentarians I have seen in the House. But they are also losing. In Western Maharashtra, BJP is slated to get about 20 seats, Vidarbha 45 seats, Marathwada 15 seats, Konkan 13 seats, and North Maharashtra 18 seats. Be it batting, bowling, fielding, captaincy, everywhere BJP is a clear winner. BJP is a clear winner. उनको मालूम था सोयाबीन में कुछ हुआ है problem, but they overcome. They knew that onion is an issue, they overcome.
All right.
They knew there are other issues on kapas, they overcome. So they were smarter. They did not mention the word Sharad Pawar in the campaign. They hyper-localized, used RSS network, and today is the result.
All right, so here's the larger picture at 11:02. Before I hand it over to my colleague Ritanshu, the fact is, ladies and gentlemen, a decisive, clear sweep by the BJP-led alliance in Maharashtra. Who is the man of the match? To my mind, it is Devendra Fadnavis. What about Jharkhand? It was supposed to be close. It's not at all close, ladies and gentlemen. The India Bloc alliance is winning Jharkhand with 51 leads, the BJP-led alliance only at 28. But the
Shreya,
person,
before you leave, one thing.
भाई,
I think इस बार exit poll शायद कुछ मायनों में सही निकले. कुछ exit poll जो रोए थे बेचारे कुछ स्टूडियोज में, उनका exit poll शायद इस बार सबसे सटीक बैठा है.
अरे वो कल हमारे स्टूडियो में भी थे. अच्छा ठीक है. Okay, so that's what it is looking like. One each for the NDA and the India Alliance, ladies and gentlemen. But the big controversy has been generated by none other than motor mouth Sanjay Raut, who is saying इस election result में कुछ गड़बड़ है. We'll leave you with that. Ritanshu is joining you next. Do stay with us.
मोदी जी हार गए हैं, लेकिन चाहे महाराष्ट्र हो चाहे और स्टेट में गड़बड़ की है. महाराष्ट्र के नतीजे भी उससे ज़्यादा आने वाले थे अच्छे. हमारी 4 या 5 सीटें लोगों ने चोरी की है. पैसा तो ऐसा है कि हर चुनाव क्षेत्र में नोटों की मशीन लगाई थी. अरे शिंदे का एक भी उम्मीदवार सिटिंग एमएलए गिरता नहीं, और शिंदे ये बोल रहे थे हमारा एक भी सिटिंग विधायक गिरेगा नहीं. आपको मालूम होगा तो मैं इस्तीफा दूंगा. ऐसा होता है क्या चुनाव में कभी? हमारा एक भी नहीं गिरेगा. ये कौन सा भरोसा है? ये कौन सा लोकतंत्र है? 200 के ऊपर किसी को चुनाव में नतीजे मिलते हैं क्या? जिस देश में, जिस राज्य में सबसे बड़ी बेईमानी हो गई है, इस राज्य की जनता बेईमान नहीं है. ये नतीजे ऐसे दिए आपने कि अपने राज्य को, जनता को बेईमान ठहराया है.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mirror Now for a special coverage of the last electoral battle. And this is what the Maharashtra figures are. BJP plus 220, Congress plus 55, others 13. It's an absolute wipeout for the Maha Vikas Aghadi in the state of Maharashtra. It is a complete landslide win from the looks of it from the ruling Mahayuti here. And look on the left of your screens here. The best performing Maha Vikas Aghadi party is still less than the worst performing Mahayuti party here. It could not be more emphatic, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to Maharashtra here. But in Jharkhand, the picture is slightly different here. And let's put out the numbers from Jharkhand, where a tantalizing situation seems to be developing. This is, of course, in Maharashtra, 55 for the Maha Vikas Aghadi, all 3 parties confirmed. Yeah, this is Jharkhand, ladies and gentlemen, and here the figures could not be more quite interesting here. After an initial lead in the morning, the BJP and its smaller parties as allies is now at 28. The JMM, which is roughly the alliance of the JMM, the Congress and the RJD, is at 50. Remember, the halfway mark in this case is 41. So 50 mark is currently a comfortable win. These are, of course, initial leads coming in because counting is still going on in several seats. There is as many as 30 rounds here. So the numbers will change. But mota moti, as they say in Hindi, this is the clear picture here. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for switching in to Mirror Now. We appreciate you joining us this Saturday morning to discuss the most important results so far of the 2024 the final results of the 2024 election battle here. But then, what do these numbers mean? Let's take you through the big developments that are breaking at this moment. The big news coming in at this point, it is a Mahayuti wave in Maharashtra. The Maha Vikas Aghadi is being completely decimated in the Mahayut. That is the big number. The number you see behind me, below me on the screens, it could not be more emphatic. And for once, it seems for the first time this year, exit pollsters have actually been actually been proven true. Now, the big takeaways you can see on your screens at this point. I'm also being joined by Vishal Singh in the studio. Vishal, the takeaways here at this point. Mahayuti wave in Maharashtra, it is coming in at this point. MV is being decimated in the Mahayuti. And also at this point, BJP is heading for its best ever result in Maharashtra because it's crossing the 200 plus figure. And the two sources of glimmer of hope for the Congress party, one is that it is set to be a part of the government in Jharkhand. It's coming to power once again. And then, of course, in Wayanad, Priyanka Gandhi is set to come make a parliamentary debut with a landslide win. I'm being joined by my guests at this point. Charu Pragya is also with me. Before I go across to Charu Pragya, a big piece of breaking news that's coming in at this point, as is customary with most election results, especially a win for the BJP and a landslide win at that. The big news coming in, Prime Minister Modi is going to arrive at the BJP headquarters at around 6 to 6:30 p.m. BJP workers are going to welcome the Prime Minister at the party office here. And of course, we can expect a rousing victory celebration from the Prime Minister today. That's the breaking news coming in. But first and foremost, is it going to be a victory in one state or a victory in two states? That remains to be seen. But first, let's go across to Charu Pragya. I'm also going to get my other guests with me at this point. Swati Malik, spokesperson of the Congress. Clyde Crasto, national spokesperson of the NCP. Dr. Uday Nirgudkar, senior journalist, is joining us from the Mumbai studio as well. Varun is with me in the Noida studios. And Brij Mohan Srivastav is from the NCP faction. Let me go across, of course, to the big winner today. Charu Pragya, first and foremost, congratulations. The BJP is set for, BJP and its allies, it's set for a massive victory in Maharashtra here. I would love to start off with a congratulatory question, but now I'm going to do my role as a journalist and ask you a question which might put you in the spot. Who is going to be your chief minister?
Yes, that seems to be the question that's going around this afternoon. But let me just repeat what the senior leadership in Mahayuti has said. We were just hoping to cross the winning margin now. And today, when the three alliance partners sit together with all the MLAs, they are the ones who are going to decide who the next chief minister is going to be. The most important thing here is that the chief minister chosen has to be one who's good for the state, is good for people, and is going to take forward the progressive policies of Modi ji from the center and the great work that has been happening in the state of Maharashtra. So I know journalists are trying to pit one party against each other, but we're not in competition here. We were contesting together, and whoever is the chief minister is going to be the Mahayuti chief minister.
Charuji, I can let you in on a secret right now. All journalists want is a clear mandate from both states so that we can go home on time and we're not burning the midnight oil.
Absolutely.
So we have no desire in creating trouble where there is none. Now, the reason is the chief minister question is a big question because at the end of the day, will Mr. Shinde take a demotion after a victory or will Mr. Fadnavis again be deputy after delivering one of the BJP's best of her performance? So there is a lot of intrigue of the chief minister question. But first, let me also get in Clyde Castro from the NCP Sharad Pawar faction. Mr. Castro, thank you for joining us on Mirror Now. Appreciate you speaking to Mirror Now because at the end of the day, there's no other way to put it. The Maha Vikas Aghadi has taken a pasting.
I have to go.
And for me, the most telling factor is that the best performing, Charuji, if you can stay with us for just 5 to 10 minutes, I would love to get your response on that. Clyde, the best performance Maha Vikas Aghadi party is getting lesser seats than the worst performing Mahayuti party. What has gone so badly wrong, Clyde?
Well, I guess, to begin with, let me just congratulate the Bharatiya Janata Party. More importantly, I would like to congratulate my friend Varun. I mean, today he scored over me. So next time when we meet, he's going to rub me. He's a very close friend of mine. I also wish, let me tell you one thing. This man has really, really fought for the Bharatiya Janata Party. I hope they're making the national spokesperson of Bharatiya Janata Party soon. This is my wish for him. I mean, what his decision is completely different. This is my wish. So, Varun, you owe me a nice cup of chai when we meet next time. Okay. I'll tell you what, looking back at the numbers, okay, I mean, there's no explanation to give. The people of Maharashtra have decided. We have to respect it. This is their decision. We've gone wrong somewhere. It's back to the drawing board, right from scratch for us. This is something that we need to do right from the scratch. That's to understand where we've gone wrong. And I think we are mature enough to understand this. There's no point saying that this happened and that happened. What happened is that the people did not vote for us, and we have to accept it. We go by it. I wish the Bharatiya Janata Party and its allies the best. Hope they give very good governance to the people of Maharashtra because they deserve.
No, but Clyde, one of the allies is also the party which claims to be the real NCP. Now, the big talking point which was coming out of these elections is that two NCPs, two Shiv Senas is just too confusing, too unwielding, and this verdict will essentially be a referendum in who is the real Shiv Sena and who is the real NCP. From the looks of it, the people's verdict is very clear. They see Ajit Dada's party to be the real NCP, which on paper, it still is the original NCP name, the original NCP party logo. Is that now an existential threat to your party, which has been run by Sharad Pawar, by Supriya Sule, that perhaps there is now a very question mark over the very recognition and validation of your party, going by, unfortunately, how poorly your party has performed?
No, see, I'll tell you, I look at it a little differently. Okay, there are two aspects to it. This real and duplicate and all that. The argument can go on forever. But the fact of the matter is, nobody can take this away from us that the NCP was formed by Mr. Sharad Pawar. He formed the NCP. That's where it started from. Now the people have voted. There's always going to be discussion about real and something that's duplicate. But that's fair enough. They have got the mandate of the people. They have called themselves NCP. The Election Commission has given them the name, so they can take it forward. But you cannot take away what Mr. Sharad Pawar has done for the people of Maharashtra, what he did when he formed the NCP, and this is where we'll continue.
Okay. Clyde, I'll have a lot of follow-up questions to come to you as well at this point, but the fact is that it's not a decimation that we're looking at. Varun, what would be your, what would you think has went so drastically different in 6 months? We saw a very different picture just 6 months ago in the Lok Sabha elections. It wasn't as one-sided a victory for the Aghadi as we see here, but it's been a complete 180-degree switch, even more than that. What has changed in just 6 months?
Lot many things changed. Firstly, I would like to, my sympathies towards the Congress and the Sharad Pawar NCP, because even they would agree, and when they go back to the, drawing table, and when they would draw the new sketch from where they have to restart, they will realize and understand and accept that the UBT Sena, unka ziddipana, unka hatpana of asking seats where they have never won or had won once in the Modi wave, and they wanted those seats, though the Congress and the NCP gave in to their demands. That is one of the biggest reasons. And the second biggest reason is Congress and UBT. For example, UBT's sympathy wave is no longer, I had been saying it, UBT never had a sympathy wave. Even during the 2024 Lok Sabha elections, if you see, UBT won mostly on the Congress party votes. The votes that belonged to the Congress party, the votes that were of Muslim-dominated area, UBT won on those. So वो तो किराए के, सच कहें तो किराए के votes पे थे, and most of these Shinde Sena voters have returned, that is what I would say, have supported the Shiv Sena, and that is what I see. And Clyde, thanks for congratulating me. I am no official spokesperson, but you know that whatever I had said has been the truth. And that truth today is showing on ground, because 2 days ago I had tweeted that BJP will overperform its best performance ever. And that was from the ground, which you all decided not to listen to. You all decided not to pay heed to what the common voter of Maharashtra was thinking or believing or wants. You all went in that नशा जो होता है एक MVA उस नशे में था, and that is visible. And I'm very happy that you actually, probably the TV channels now should come to you in the morning instead of going to Sanjay Raut's house and standing in front of him, who gives such bizarre comments.
Let's not get personal here.
No, I'm not getting personal. I'm saying who gives bizarre comment. Bizarre is how is it personal?
Okay. See, Clyde has started off being very graceful, congratulating the BJP. Yes. It's the form of politics which we have not seen for the last few years. But Clyde, would you like to answer the charges which have been made at this point by Warren? Because at the end of the day, the NCP Sharad Pawar party's strike rate, if you go by 10 seats, which is currently the leads which are being given to it, it's an abysmal 11.6%. At some point, was it seat sharing? Given the fact that the Congress party seems to be one of the better performing parties in the Maha Vikas Aghadi, both in Lok Sabha as well as in the assembly elections here, did perhaps the alliance miss a trick by asking for too many seats for both Uddhavji's party and Sharadji's party?
See, I'm not going to deny a lot of things that Varun also said. The fact of the matter is, once you lose, okay, there are a lot of people who will have smirks on their faces, like I got you now. And there are friends like Varun who will tell me, what is right and what is wrong. So the point here is there are a lot of issues that are going to be looked into point-wise, that maybe we faltered here, maybe we faltered here. So at the end of the day, you have to be graceful in defeat. You have to understand where you went wrong. You cannot be arrogant. And these are the things that we will take back with us and we'll study that way. Because there are a lot of people today who will be like, a few days back, they were very quiet. Not Varun. Varun was actually talking all the time. And I'm really happy, the way he spoke and the way he's speaking to. There are other people who, gauge and was always in the center. Suddenly today they'll come out all guns blazing, bravado and all. That's okay, fine. But like I said, we will go back, understand, and all the points, whether it's you, whether it's Varun, the points they have made, they all could be a possibility. So we have to study them and rectify.
All right, Dr. Uday Nirgudkar is also joining us at this point. Dr. Uday, what are the two things? I mean, in my mind, there are two big changes which happened on the ground. One was, of course, which differentiates what happened in May versus what happened in November. One is, of course, the Ladki Bahan Yojana, which apparently became a big hit, especially with the women, and that really seems to have turned the tide around for the Mahayuti. And the other is, of course, this 3% extra vote. We saw a massive surge in turnout both in Mumbai and in Maharashtra, breaking 30-year-old records. Almost 29 lakh voters voted extra in the assembly elections who had not voted in the Lok Sabha. Was this ultimately the deciding factor that turned the tide around and to bring such a one-sided verdict coming in from Maharashtra?
There are a couple of more reasons than that. Yes, these are the reasons what you cited. They are absolutely the right reasons. But more important is the Hindu rising efforts made by BJP, RSS combined. That worked wonders. That's number one. Number two, the kind of agitations perhaps opposition should have had on the ground for the distress on soybean, kapas and onions did not gel with the people. They should have been more authentic. The credibility of the agitators, political parties was in question, and the measures taken by BJP, maybe a bit last minute, it worked in my opinion. But the more bigger threat at this point of time is, since the lowest performance of Congress and Sharad Pawar, Tutari and Uddhav Thackeray, will they splinter much more? Now, is it writing on the card that having taken exactly opposite view as of his father, will Uddhav Thackeray able to keep the flock together, or out of 14-15 seats what they will get, will there be more splint or jaake kahin aur BJP ko join na ho? That could be the imminent possibility. You see, why Hindu rising I said is that's why Devendra Fadnavis on the day of the counting, on the day of the voting, immediately in the evening went and met RSS Supremo. For what? To thank for the support their cadre leveraged on the ground. What is more curious is the acceptance of Ajit Pawar for voting. You see, so many seats Ajit Pawar winning is not because of their own vote, but the vote transfer happening from BJP to them. जो लोकसभा में नहीं हुआ था, आज यहाँ पे होता हुआ दिख रहा है. And that's something which is very interesting phenomena. But one must give credit to Sharad Pawar. At the age of 84, इतना महाभारत सामने हुआ है, फिर भी he had about 50 plus rallies in the state. He tried to get whatever left for in his party and did put up a brave effort, I would say, albeit completely negated by the audience.
No, but then let's put it this way, Clyde. I'm sorry to put you, grill you under the scanner, but this is going to be an important question about the future of NCP. I don't think anyone, even within, especially within the voters of Maharashtra or even within the Mahayuti alliance itself, no one underestimates the power of Sharad Pawar. A lot of people believe that in 2019, the NCP, the undivided NCP, was the surprise package because of Sharad Pawar's rallies in the rain and those iconic visuals going around. The question is then what next here? With the division of the party, it became a legacy issue at this point between Supriya Sule for your party and Ajit Pawar for the NCP. From the looks of it, the people of Maharashtra are now seeing Ajit Pawar as Sharad Pawar's heir. Does this indicate now that there is a string of defections which may be a possibility from your party and Ajit Pawar's party? Because once again, as I repeat, if this is a referendum, what happens now to Supriya Sule to begin with? What happens to people who are close to Supriya Sule? What happens to the loyalists within your party? Are they now going to defect to Ajit Pawar's party?
Good question.
It's a very good question. You asked me, in a political scenario that is in Maharashtra, anything can happen at any time. But let me tell you something. What happens next to a leader like Mr. Sharad Pawar or Mrs. Supriya Sule, you cannot write them off. These people are grassroots leaders. They worked from the grassroots level. They brought the party up. Ups and downs happen in politics. We may be down today. Tomorrow there'll be a completely different scenario. And let me tell you one thing. Mr. Nirgurkar is here. He's a senior journalist and he knows Maharashtra politics very well. And all of us know that you can never write off Mr. Sharad Pawar. Never ever make the mistake of writing him off. He can spring up something, you never know. At the age of 85, Mr. Nirgurkar said he did more than 50 sabhas. Actually, the count is almost more than 70 sabhas, including the little small ones that he has done. But that man at 85, sometimes he puts us to shame that, we wonder how young he is. So never write him off. And things will happen. People who are hungry for power will jump here and there. Today we are in such a low number. The scene could have been different if today we were, in a better place. You could be asking, will you accept somebody who will leave the Ajit Pawar group and come to your group? You could be asking me the same question. But this is part of politics. Never write anybody off. Things can change any time at any given point in time. But the fact of the matter is today, we have to go and accept that people of Maharashtra have not accepted us. And we have to work harder. That is the moral of the story, is that we are not accepted. So, learn and work hard.
But the same people in Maharashtra did accept you, maybe not to such a massive mandate, but 6 months ago, the same people of Maharashtra, maybe 30 lakh voters less, had accepted the Maha Vikas Aghadi, had accepted the NCP, SP and the Shiv Sena UBT as the real Shiv Sena and the SP UBT and the real NCP. Something drastically went wrong in just 6 months. And I'm very happy to be joined by Sanjay Jha, an author, political analyst, someone who understands the Congress party very well. Sanjay, welcome in the studios on Fairer Now. Thank you. Let's start with the bad news for the Congress at this point here. What went so badly wrong? I know sometimes we are guilty of hyperbole and overreading into election results here, perhaps what might have happened 6 months ago. But in 6 months, the scale oscillating to such an extent that we're looking at this absolute whitewash on the screens. 220 is 4 times the number of leads which the Aghadi seems to be getting at this point. What went so badly wrong for the Aghadi, or in your case, what went so right for the Mahayuti?
Well, as you rightly said, this is stunning. This will be talked about as a case study in political election campaigns as to how can a group or an alliance win 31 out of 48 in the Lok Sabha, which, by the way, is meant to favor the BJP more than an assembly election which is fought on local issues. Clearly, this is a deeper answer or investigation is required to figure out as to what were the real reasons. But one thing definitely is, and cannot be denied, that I would call it as the Haryana syndrome. The mistake of losing Haryana on account of tactical errors. The Congress had the vote shares, but it could not win the seats. And it overnight galvanized the BJP.
Haryana was a close
into
contest,
believing.
Sanjay.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah. This is not a close contest.
Yeah, but I want to draw the linkage. You see, what happens is that winning is a momentum.
Okay.
So is losing a momentum. The BJP was, if you follow Mr. Modi and the BJP till the Haryana results, they were on the back foot.
Okay, I think we've got visuals coming in at this point of the man of the moment, Devendra Fadnavis, celebrating a BJP victory here. He definitely does deserve credit because the BJP seems to be going for its best ever performance of 120. It's now ahead in 126 here, if I'm not mistaken, of the 150 seats it had contested in, and that's a remarkable strike rate of 84% here. So at this point, let me bring in Professor Dr. Uday at this point here. The question now comes, and I'll come back to the Congress question. There are some good news also for the Congress party, even in Maharashtra, let's not deny that. But when it comes about the winners, okay, before I come across to you, I've been told Shaina NCG is joining us live at this point. Shaina, can you hear me? I'd just like to start off with that. If you can hear me, congratulations. Welcome to Mirror Now.
Yes, I can. Thank you, thank you.
Yes, Shaina, congratulations, congratulations. I mean, our viewers have been seeing you on TV screens for quite some years now, but you have now made the next step, and I'm now speaking to an MLA-elect, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, I mean, results are still to come in. But firstly, congratulations on that, Shaina. And you've also switched over from the BJP to the UBT, to the Shiv Sena Shinde faction. But at the end of the day, you're all winners at this point. What, according to you, Shaina ji, changed the game for the ruling Mahayuti alliance in just 6 months from what we saw in the Lok Sabha elections to the assembly elections? As Mr. Sanjay was pointing out, generally the trend is that the BJP does better in Lok Sabha elections and the regional parties do better in state elections. This time we have seen a complete reverse.
So let me please say that, you know, you've had the opposition, the Maha Vikas Aghadi, only playing false narratives and tushtikaran ki rajniti, as we say, which is vote bank politics. We, on the other hand, have only played a positive agenda, which is to cater to 4 vote banks. One are the women, one are the youth, one are the farmers, and one are the senior citizens. This has been highlighted by our Honorable Prime Minister on multiple occasions where he has said that sabka saath, sabka vikas, sabka prayas, sabka vishwas. Now, if you take the Ladki Behna Yojana, the Honorable Chief Minister Eknath Shinde ji gave 2.5 crore women 7,500 rupees direct in their bank account. Obviously, this has impacted their lives and they have chosen to rally behind us. If you take my own constituency of Mumba Devi, 40,000 women have got this kind of development agenda, and of which 15,000 are women. Now, despite the fact that mine is probably the hardest constituency in the whole state with 140,000, Muslims and 1 lakh Hindus, people have realized that they want change, they want development where there hasn't been. If you see constituencies which are backward, where there's been no, clustery development, no hospitals, no schools, obviously they will change that MLA. But where there has been good governance, which the MVA has chosen to just dismiss as an agenda, and the Mahayuti has chosen to focus on an agenda, and the work that the Prime Minister has done pan-India, I think is unbelievable. And in the days to come, it is only going to be more and more towards a Viksit Bharat, which has been the agenda of the Mahayuti. And that's why I think these thumping numbers and this majority. Okay,
Shaina ji, that was the good part of this victory now. But again, now the Mahayuti faces a Sophie's choice, and perhaps that represents in your political career as someone who has very strong ties with both the BJP and now with the Shiv Sena as well. Who should be the Chief Minister of Maharashtra? Because at the end of the day, Mr. Devendra Fadnavis or the BJP has gotten twice as many MLAs from the looks of it than the Shiv Sena. Will he again be ready to take a Deputy Chief Minister's post? Or if he is now going to be rewarded with the Chief Minister's post, will Mr. Eknath Shinde be ready, okay with the demotion?
So this is obviously a question which is not to be answered by you or me, or cannot be answered by you or me. It is for the leadership of the Mahayuti to decide who should be Chief Minister. Eknath Shinde ji is a mass leader, extremely popular on ground. Devendra Fadnavis has his own academics to support him. Ajit Pawar is good at administration, but cumulatively it is for the leadership to take that call. I just want to say that the agenda is to work for a Viksit Maharashtra and a Viksit Bharat, and that is something which should be the highlight and the takeaway of today's election, that people want politics of performance. They don't just want people who come and rant on television and come every morning, be it... So
you're saying collectively, if the leadership decides that Mr. Fadnavis will be Chief Minister, the Shiv Sena will accept it?
This is not for me to answer. We are all here to serve the people of Mumbai as sevaks, and we will continue to do that. I think that every morning, you have Sanjay Raut claiming, oh, the Chief Minister will be ours, and Nana Patole saying, oh, the Chief Minister will be ours. First, they didn't even pass the mark of passing the exam because they haven't even got the numbers. So that is a distant dream, and that is, of course, over and done with. Now the question is how we step ahead and progress for the state at the speed of lightning, which is the only agenda. And I think it's great that the people have realized that Prime Minister Modi breathes for this country of ours. He has left no stone unturned to see that every part of India is part of this growth trajectory. And keeping that in mind, it will only be a chief minister that is decided by the Mahayuti leadership. And yes, I'm very proud of our Chief Minister Eknath Shinde ji, because what he has done with Ladki Behna Yojana, no Chief Minister could have ever done. And it has really been a game changer for all of us in Maharashtra.
All right. So, Shaina ji, I mean, a lot of our viewers can read between the lines. My final question before I let you go. Yes, it's been a great victory from the looks of it for the Mahayuti at this point here. But what about you as an individual candidate? Because right now the leads which we are getting at this point from Mumba Devi is that you're actually trailing. Are you still confident of a victory and making your debut as an MLA in the Maharashtra Assembly?
I'm sure the people of Maharashtra will stand by me. The people of Mumba Devi have given me so much love in this 1 month that I realize their pain, and at the same time I realize that how I have been given a responsibility. But as they say, at the end of it, Jo Jeeta Wohi Sikandar. So I'm not going to jump the gun. Having said that, I think our booths, which are to now open, will open here on. So hopefully that trail will change to a lead, because this was something we were expecting in these particular booths. But I don't want to predict beyond. Let's wait and watch. And whatever the mandate is, I will accept with dignity and grace, as I have conducted through this election, despite being targeted from day one as a mal, as an imported item, and a bakri, and all this kind of negative commentary. I won't want to respond to any of them. I want to respond only with good work.
All right, Shaina NCZ, that was an incredibly gracious answer, and good luck to you as we continue to track those results coming in from Mumba Devi. Thank you so much for joining. I'm also being joined by RP Singh, who from representing the BJP. I'm also being joined by Sanjay Jha in the studio. I'm also being joined by Varun in the studio, and I'm also being joined by Dr. Uday Nirkudkar as well. RP Singh, coming to you first. RP Singh ji, congratulations to you for Maharashtra, but now let me talk about the other state, which so far I've not been able to reflect to. In Jharkhand, it seems something has gone wrong for the BJP. Could you draw in firstly on what do you think has been the problem for the BJP and its allies in Jharkhand?
Well, I appreciate. Let's wait for another 2 hours for the final result to come. But yes, as of now, we are behind the India Alliance, behind the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha. So let's wait. I mean, I appreciate by 2 o'clock the results will be more clear, because as per my information, there are very thin margins on which JMM is leading still.
All right, so we'll continue to discuss Jharkhand as well. Now let's look at Maharashtra. RP Singh ji, the consensus from our panelists in the studio and who have been joining us all morning has been that the big turnaround, one of the big turnaround for the Mahayuti in Maharashtra has been the success of the Ladki Behna Yojana. But does that also mean that the BJP is also realizing that the inevitability of the Revdi culture, at the end of the day, you may trash it, you may mock it when opponents do it, but at the end of the day, it brings you votes and it brings electoral dividends, as evidence from what has happened in Maharashtra, because Ladki Behna is probably the only difference maker in the political situation in the last 6 months, and that probably explains this stunning turnaround from the Lok Sabha elections to the assembly results.
Well, as per you, Ladki Behna is the only difference, the position which has made the difference. But fact is, how are you missing on ek hai to safe hai, or batenge to katenge to batenge? So all media channels, all people who have to build, who was trying to build an ecosystem narrative, were talking on this, that ek hai to safe hai is not acceptable in Maharashtra. Now let's see whether it's acceptable in Maharashtra or not. So it's not only Ladki Behna. Ladki Behna, yes, played a role, but there are other factors also, and the other factors are that how do double engine government perform, and how do it help people of the state to do better as far the state growth trajectory is concerned. So all put together, is the workers' effort from the polling booth to the Panna Pramukh to the polling booth, to the Khand Pramukh to Shakti Kendra to Mandal to district and then to the state, and also the narrative which was built by Amit Shah ji and his team in Maharashtra, that has helped, and the faces which you projected. I mean, Devendra Fadnavis ji, Eknath Shinde ji and Ajit Pawar ji, all put together, has led to this victory.
Okay.
It's not just one Ladki Behan now.
Okay, fair enough. So, going by answer, there are three factors which come in, and I like to put that to my guest. Ladki Behan, ek hai to safe hai, working. By the way, RP Singh ji, it wasn't just media people who questioned that. Even some within your allies, Ajit Pawar ji, some within your own party, like Ms. Munde, they had also questioned and rejected that slogan. But it seems the people of Maharashtra have accepted it. Sanjay ji, I would like to get you into this point.
Yeah.
What have we seen in Maharashtra? Do you think, is it reverse I mean, they say that we don't need it in Maharashtra, RP Singh ji, but nevertheless, Sanjay Jha, is this a victory of the I mean, at least a success of the AK to Safe Hai campaign? Because, I mean, we'll analyze the vote share in detail through the day, but from the looks of it, there seems to be counter consolidation of votes here, which is why we are seeing this massive consolidation for the right-wing parties.
I think there is something very extraordinary when we'll analyze. I'm sure that the results will tell us that, but there is something extraordinary that has happened in Maharashtra. And as you rightly mentioned, Ajit Pawar, Pankaja Munde, Nitin Gadkari, and you had Ashok Chavan, they all openly said that Maharashtra does not deserve this kind of an aggressive polarization campaign. Because remember, I mean, Maharashtra has always been very eclectic, very inclusive. You have had Dr. Ambedkar, Jyotiba Phule. Everyone knows about the story of Maharashtra. And it's never really been a victim of this Hindu-Muslim dynamics. In fact, a lot of it happened for the first time only after the Babri Masjid demolition had happened. So I do believe that there is been a successful political strategy to bring a nationalization of a local election. You see, typically Mr. Modi has struggled with that as far as assembly elections are concerned. But here once again, Ek Hai To Safe Hai is basically playing on, I would call it as fear-mongering, scaremongering. Or Batenge To Katenge is about creating a social division within the society, and I believe it's blatantly against the minorities. So somewhere it's worked. So what works with people is always a combination of factors.
But then isn't it also a failure of the... I'll get you in at this point. I know you want to come in as well, Varun. But isn't it also a failure of the opposition, Sanjay? At the end of the day, if one of the biggest success stories, which is why we have seen Mr. Kejriwal win repeatedly, Mamata Banerjee win repeatedly, Mr. Stalin win repeatedly, even earlier also when other parties, when the Congress, it was seen as a triumph of local issues coming to the forefront and the BJP losing out because it did not have a strong local face to counter these questions at this point.
Yeah.
Somewhere the opposition has failed quite abysmally if a national issue like AK to Safe Hai became the dominant theme.
You're absolutely right. And it's intriguing because this time it was not just the Congress which can be often blamed for not kind of reading the tea leaves. This time you had veterans like Uddhav Thackeray as well as Sharad Pawar. So clearly, I think the India Alliance probably overestimated the success in the Lok Sabha. The issues were very real, yes. I mean, very dynamic challenges of unemployment and inflation. I remember reading a CSDS survey, independent survey, that said that rural distress is going to be a big factor. Maratha agitation was going to be a big factor. That all of it seems to have been overwhelmed by the campaign of, fear, the fact that the opposition was playing on minority appeasement. And if the Congress party cannot battle that narrative, then I think it's a Congress's responsibility within the MVA for having failed the job. I would not blame Mr. Pawar and Mr. Thackeray so much because, see, the Congress has been the real formidable player in Maharashtra for decades. I mean, this is for the first time that you're going to see 3 consecutive defeats for the Congress in Maharashtra.
Come on, Sanjay. For the last 15 years, when it was an undivided NCP, undivided Shiv Sena, the Congress was always the 4th strongest party, even in 2019. So I don't know what has gone wrong. And at this end, I mean, I don't know whether blame cannot be given to the Thackerays and the Pawars because as of now, according to the EC website, Aditya Thackeray is trailing in Worli by a slim margin of 600 votes, but that's will still be a seismic defeat if Aditya Thackeray loses Worli at this point. Warren, you wanted to come in on what Mr. Jha was saying.
See, to be very honest, I don't know why the BJP or the Hindus are always blamed. There's a party called Islam, India secular largest assembly in Maharashtra. And that party is formed by an ex-Congress MLA, and he is leading in Malegaon Central. He is the only person who is contesting from that party, and he is leading in Malegaon Central. And Malegaon Central constituency mein, all the candidates belong to only one community or one religious community, to be very honest. There is not a single Hindu, there is not a single Christian, there is no Parsi, no Jain, no Sikh. Only and only Muslims are contesting from that constituency. So when the MVA created an atmosphere of fear. When the MVA did it, it was countered by the BJP, and the BJP actually, to be very honest, succeeded in taking that particular narrative. And also, let me tell you, the increase in voter is of Hindus, and those were the guilt voters जिन्हें 2024 के लोकसभा चुनाव में बाद में they went into a guilt when they saw Modi, when they saw 240, and that is what has helped the MVA right now. One simple thing,
जिनको लगा था कि हमें वोट करने की जरूरत नहीं,
हाँ, the lethargy of the BJP voters actually saw them, saw the BJP's defeat in Maharashtra. And one more thing, आप बार-बार ये, I never understand this particular theory of many people who blame the BJP for Uddhav Thackeray or for the Congress or for the NCP Sharad Pawar defeat. There's a very famous शेर which I recited some time ago by Shabina Adib कि उसकी चाहत के खुशबू में महकी महकी फिरती हूं, जब से मिली हूं उससे मैंने इतर लगाना छोड़ दिया. So the thing is कि BJP ने कुछ नहीं किया. UBT accepted the ideology, let go of the ideology of Hindutva, and it took.
But by that logic, Varun, by that logic, I mean, Aghadi wouldn't have done so well in the Lok Sabha elections. If people saw what Uddhavji did as a betrayal to the mandate in 2019.
It didn't go at that point of time. To be very honest, the BJP failed in setting the narrative during the Lok Sabha time. Okay. They were overconfident. But this time they realized कि भाई narrative set नहीं कर पा रहे और किया.
I also think that yes, obviously credit needs to be given to the Prime Minister, the Home Minister and the star campaigners. But one big difference maker where the BJP has traditionally failed is to have a strong local leadership, and that has not been the case in Maharashtra. One of the people who have been hailed as the unsung hero is Devendra Fadnavis. Remember, he was former Maharashtra Chief Minister. Then he did take oath for a few hours for the second time in 2019. He was set, many people believe that he deserved the mandate as the Chief Minister. He could not hang on. Then he settled to be Deputy Chief Minister and yet continued to work for the party. Now, he apparently, breaking news coming in at this point is that Amit Shah has dialed Devendra Fadnavis to congratulate him on the BJP's best performance till now. But that means, RP Singh ji, given the fact that there are celebrations of BJP and given the fact that many people believe that Devendra Fadnavis is one of the heroes of the cadre consolidation and the vote consolidation at the local level, will the party now look to reward him with the Chief Minister's post, something which he was ready to give up 2.5 years ago to ensure that there was a BJP-run government that came back to power after 2.5 years of the Aghadi's rule?
Well, one thing is very clear, the patience and politics play. And then it has played with Fadnavis Sahab also. And let the MLAs and the party high command decide who has to be the next Chief Minister. It's little too early to talk on the subject. But yes, Fadnavis Sahab is a key player in Maharashtra today. And then he has shown that he stands by party command, whatever party order, whatever party asks him to do. But I was just hearing other panelists also right now. They were talking about as if 2024 parliamentary election, there was something which was a mess with BJP. Yes, we accept that we couldn't counter the narrative built up by the UPA and the India alliance that India's constitution will be changed and the reservations from the Shulukar tribe will be taken away. So that has been undone in the last, that was seen in Haryana also, how it was undone and how it has been undone in Maharashtra and now in UP also, by-election also. So narrative was being built, false narrative was being built, and then it took us some time to re-strategize, and we have successfully done that now.
But surely, RP Singh ji, I'm sorry to stress upon the Chief Minister question again, but it is something which is quite intriguing. Surely this should not be logically a debate over which party should have the next Chief Minister. your party has more than twice the number of MLAs from the nearest than your nearest ally, which is the Shiv Sena. Logically, shouldn't the chief minister come from the BJP?
It doesn't work that way.
I think it will.
It should.
I don't. You know, to be very honest,
well, whatever is the good,
MLAs BJP
whatever
के पास
the,
थे, उनके पास 46 थे, नहीं हुआ.
No, go on RP Singh ji.
But that will not.
No, one second, Sanjay. This is a fascinating discussion, but I want RP Singh ji to respond.
Well,
yeah, go ahead, RP Singh.
Yeah.
Well, whatever is good for Maharashtra, that call will be taken by our leadership. Let's wait for some day or two when the final call is taken by the MLAs and the leadership of the party.
Well, that's why I insist at this point to our viewers, picture abhi baki hai, because remember what happened in 2019 on counting day. We see it seemed like yes, it was a clear BJP Shiv Sena government here, and we all know the drama that happened later. Anything can happen in Maharashtra. The last 5 years have taught us that. But Dr. Uday Nirgudkar, you have been waiting quite patiently. There's one unsung hero which we have not talked about. RP Singh ji actually referred to that in his opening remarks, and that has also been credited as the big reasons why the BJP won Haryana after not doing so well in 2024. That was the undivided, undiluted RSS support. Some believe that in 2024, during the Lok Sabha elections, with statements coming in from party leaders saying that we don't need the RSS so much, that led to essentially a butting it or cutting it within the Sangh Parivar. But Haryana and both Maharashtra have shown that the BJP still needs the full might of the RSS. Again, someone Mr. Fadnavis has been very close to ensure that the party continues to manage its hold. Would you agree with that sentiment?
Allow me a couple of minutes to explain, since you came after about 45 minutes to me. Please understand what is the result at this point of time, 11:49 a.m. Because of the RSS support and Ladli Behna and amalgamation of three parties perfectly chosen, now the opposition in Mumbai is reduced to 1/3. That's the headline. Now the opposition in Mumbai is reduced to 1/3. In North Maharashtra, the biggest victory for BJP, where the opposition is 1/8. 1/8, I repeat, 1/8. That has never happened since last 10 elections. In Western Maharashtra, it is reduced to 1/3. In Vidarbha, that's where 34 seats, BJP and Congress were fighting loggerheads with each other, head to head. They are 1/5. The opposition is reduced to 1/5. Konkan opposition is reduced to 1/4. Konkan opposition is reduced to 1/4. The only savior where opposition could stand eye to eye is Marathwada, where it is 60% BJP plus combined and about 40% is Congress plus combined. So that result speaks three things. The agrarian distress overcome by BJP. Number two, a perfect amalgamation of three parties put together where vote transfer has successfully happened. Ladli Behna, that worked tremendously, that gave 6% rise to the voting, and in many constituencies it was about 7% plus more. Interestingly, what worked is the Hindu rising. Now people on this panel talked about Ambedkar, Phule and all that. Please understand, in Maharashtra, they talked of vote jihad. Had they not talked of vote jihad, they would not have replied with 100% voting and Hindu rising. They gave them the battle to fight, and that has resulted into it. The Malegaon Central, which you are talking about, barring Malegaon Central, all other seats, Subhash Bhamre was leading by 1,89,000 votes in Dhule constituency. And you open Malegaon Central and he loses by 3,800. If such is the kind of voting going to happen, obviously there will be a reflection amongst Hindus with Hindu rising that clearly seen. As regards the CM post is concerned, tomorrow Rajnath Singh, I am told, is coming to Mumbai as Kendriya Nirikshak, and then the whole drama will unfold. But as of today, it is very clear, having performed not just best of the BJP, but best of any other political party in last 5 elections, Devendra Fadnavis is not just the kingmaker, but the king.
Well, is he? I mean, from the looks of it, he will not be the kingmaker, but the king, and that's what the BJP believes as well. I'm being joined by my colleague Shweta at this point with some very interesting visuals. I'm also going to welcome BD Singh, national spokesperson of the Shiv Sena Shinde camp, who's also joining us. If my team can confirm if we have BD Singh live with us at this point, and while we await that confirmation, let's also go across to Shweta. Shweta. Celebrations are on foot on the BJP camp at this point here, but what are they saying? Do they want Fadnavis ji to come back as chief minister?
Well, that question remains unanswered. In fact, just a short while back, Mr. Vinod Tavda also interacted with the media, and he was telling what has led to this massive success. That is various schemes to different things. But as far as the CM face is concerned, that is still the suspense which remains. I'll quickly show you the visuals from the BJP headquarters in Mumbai. In fact, Rakesh is showing you how the decorations are being done. In fact, the decorations around the BJP office, you talk about the flowers, the garlands, or the new flexes that has also been shown. Rakesh, if you can just move to this side, we can also show you how these kind of flexes are being shown. This talks about 50% concession to the women given for traveling in state transport buses, and these are various schemes that were introduced by Mahayuti just ahead of the assembly polls. That has brought, in fact, laurels. In fact, I'll quickly show you the atmosphere outside. It's the use of celebration that we can witness outside BJP headquarters in Mumbai. In fact, you can see the BJP flags flaring and the big projector, the huge banners projector that has been shown. The seating arrangements have, of course, been done here, and most importantly, the leaders of BJP are coming, and what we are getting to understand is that currently Deputy Chief Minister Fadnavis is at Sagar Bungalow, but he would be also coming soon. But of course, you can see the atmosphere outside BJP office, and Vinod Tavde is inside along with the various party leaders. Also, the functionaries are inside. In fact, you can see how the preparations are ongoing as we speak about the kind of success that is been shown by BJP. That's a massive landslide victory what BJP has brought in this assembly polls.
All right, Shweta, thanks a lot for joining me. Let me now go across to Dr. BD Singh, who's spokesperson of the Shiv Sena Shinde camp. Dr. Singh, firstly, let me congratulate you on behalf of Mirror Now for the trends at this point here. Let me also point out that the Shiv Sena Shinde faction was the better performing Shiv Sena even in the Lok Sabha elections. That has been one trend that has remained here. But Dr. Singh, while we see the celebrations which have come in from the BJP camp and we see the number of seats in which the BJP is ahead, the question does arise, will Mr. Shinde now be ready to possibly look at a demotion and be a deputy chief minister? Because logically, the BJP is the clear single largest ally and should have, and the mandate indicates that they want a BJP chief minister in the state.
सवाल मेरे से हेलो
हाँ जी बीडी सिंह जी सवाल आपके साथ आपसे हाँ जी आपसे साथ सवाल
मैं ये बताना चाहता हूं कि शिंदे साहब की जो 2.5 साल के सफर में उन्होंने जमीनी काफी काम किए, जैसे लाडली बहन योजना, एसटी लेडीज के लिए फ्री, और इस तरह से जो है बुजुर्गों के लिए बिल्कुल फ्री कर दिया बस का। तो इस तरह से उनके जो जमीनी जो ग्राउंड पे काम किए, वो ग्राउंड का जो रिजल्ट है वो आज दिख रहा है। और जहां तक जो चीफ मिनिस्टर की बात कर रहे हैं, तो चीफ मिनिस्टर तो क्या है, ये महायुति की सरकार में जो है ज्वाइंटली डिसाइड होता है। और फिर भी मेरे ध्यान में जिस तरह से बीजेपी बड़े भाई की रोल में पिछली बार भी थी, फिर भी उसने बड़ा दिल दिखा करके शिंदे साहब को चीफ मिनिस्टर बनाया था, उसी तरह से मैं उम्मीद करता हूं कि इस बार भी जो है शिंदे साहब चीफ मिनिस्टर बनेंगे।
तो अरे बहुत बड़ी बयान कह दी बीडी सिंह जी कि आप एक्सपेक्ट करें कि बीजेपी बड़े भाई होकर चीफ मिनिस्टर शिंदे साहब को बनाए। बीजेपी ने तो अब तक जो बड़े भाई के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव आरपी सिंह जी है, आरपी सिंह जी, विल द बीजेपी बी द बिगर ब्रदर एंड मेक शिंदे साहब द चीफ मिनिस्टर, लेट स्टेटस को कंटिन्यू?
हमारे पंजाबी में कहते हैं दिल दा मामला है, वेट, आई मीन जस्ट वेट फॉर सम टाइम। मैंने बीजेपी has always taken everyone on board, and then the leaders will sit and talk about this. The MLAs will sit and talk about this and wait for the time. Why to haste? Why to be in haste? Wait for another 2 days, and then you will get the answer for this.
अच्छा, दिल दा मामला वो तो है, but we've got some news of the Aghadi camp, and we'll wait for that till we have more guests joining me shortly to talk about what's happening in Aghadi. Right now, let's focus on the winners here. And बीडी सिंह जी, अच्छा बात बताइए, शिंदे, अब बहुत लोग कह रहे थे कि ये बहुत कंफ्यूजिंग हो गया है, 2-2 शिवसेना, 2-2 एनसीपी, एंड बहुत लोगों को ये भी मानना था कि इस इलेक्शन में तय हो जाएगा कि असली शिवसेना कौन है, असली बाला साहब के वारिस कौन है, एंड जनता किसको असली ठाकरे या असली शिवसेना देखती है. अभी जैसे मैं बात कर रहा हूं, जो उद्धव बाला साहब, उद्धव यूबीडी सेना जो है वो इस समय बहुत ही सबसे नंबर 5 पर है, 19 सीट में बस आगे. क्या आपको लगता है कि ये एक रेफरेंडम है कि महाराष्ट्र की जनता शिंदे साहब को असली बाला साहब के वारिस मानती है?
महाराष्ट्र में
बिल्कुल 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 शिंदे साहब को असली शिवसेना मानती है. और अगर आप देखेंगे तो एक समय का स्टेटमेंट था बाला साहब ठाकरे का कि अगर हमको कांग्रेस के साथ जाना पड़ेगा महाराष्ट्र में तो हम जो है अपनी दुकान बंद कर देंगे. आज क्या हुआ?
अच्छा, वी जस्ट गेटिंग, एकनाथ शिंदे जी बोल रहे हैं, बीडी सिंह जी आपके नेता बोल रहे हैं, एक बार सुन लेते हैं. अच्छा, आई थिंक उनके बेटे का रिएक्शन आ रहा है, सुन रहे एक बार. ओके,
हम तुम्हारे साथ हैं, हम तुम्हारे साथ हैं.
सर, मोठ्या प्रमाणात महायुतीच्या सीट्स या लीडवर पाहायला मिळत आहेत. जल्लोष सुरू झालेला आहे. सर, पहिली प्रतिक्रिया तुमची काय सांगाल?
All right, we'll try and get that reaction coming in at this point, but we have breaking news coming in at this point, more details coming in on what went wrong in the Maha Vikas Aghadi. And from what our sources are telling us, there is already some discontent within the Maha Vikas Aghadi. We heard from both Clyde Traster, who is a representative of the NCP SP, and also also we heard from Sanjay as well. There is a clear acknowledgement of the fact that things have gone badly wrong at this point. Maharashtra Congress leaders feel that the defeat is on Uddhav Thackeray. The Congress claims that Uddhav Thackeray was aggressive in his seat sharing and took Congress's seats, but could not win them at this point. Let me now try and go across to Sujata Paul, Congress spokesperson, if she's through with this at this point. Sujata Paul, if you can hear me, thank you for joining us on Mirror Now. I would like to get in your first response as to what, according to you, went so catastrophically bad for the Maha Vikas Aghadi, from being in a position where it had won, if I'm not mistaken, around 30 or seats out of the 48 in the Lok Sabha elections, to a point that it's been reduced to 1/4 of the Mahayuti's tally. Something has genuinely gone wrong.
Something has genuinely gone wrong, like you said, but as far as analyzing the results is concerned, we will definitely be doing that. However, we must not forget that when we talk about the Maharashtra campaign, our campaign was very, very positive. Now, if we were talking about benefiting women in Maharashtra, we were saying the same thing in Jharkhand, where we had proved that we had really done things on the ground. We had implemented our schemes on the ground. But in Maharashtra, if it did not work, what were the reasons? Of course, this means that somewhere along the line, if you look at the Katenge to Batenge and Dharma Yuddha and all these things which were used in the Maharashtra elections by the BJP combined, obviously that seems to have worked much better. But in addition to that, we must not forget that the way the police was also being deployed to distribute cash and influence voters was there for all of us to see. We saw what happened with Vinod Tagore. You keep saying that he has sent notices, but what was seen is what is to be believed. And using religious discord was what was majorly employed by the BJP in your a voters list also somewhere. Maybe we were not aggressive enough to ensure that those people whose names had been, removed from the voters list, especially the minorities, the Dalits, the tribals, we could have worked much more as far as that is concerned to ensure that their names were put back. But
Sujata Paulji, isn't it a bit unfair that if you win it's a victory of positive politics. If you lose, it's a victory of negative politics. RP Singh, I know you have to move, but if you can just give a response to Sujata. Right? Sujata ji, if I could beg your... Sujata ji, I'll give you all the time. RP Singh just needs to leave, so I'm just going to ask him to give one response to what you've been saying, and then I'll come to you for clarification. RP Singh ji, before you leave us and go to your next appointment, if you could just respond to what Sujata ji had to say.
Well, the problem with Sujata Paul and the cadre of the Congress is that they are not prepared to accept that their leadership has failed, miserably failed, and they can't deliver now. And the man who makes jalebi in a factory and thinks jalebis can be manufactured in a factory and more factories or jalebis can be put, so people can see through what sort of person their leader is, and they also laugh at the back of the person. They probably don't, even Sujata Paul probably will not take his leader seriously, and then so do the people of country have stopped taking the leader seriously now.
Okay, RP Singh ji, thank you for joining us here. Sujata ji, if you could, Sujata ji, if you could respond to that.
That my leader is the only leader in this country who has spoken for the people, whose words matter. And as far as Jharkhand is concerned, you look at it, his Bharat Jodo Yatra has made an impact, not just the schemes which have been implemented. Rahul Gandhi's words have made a huge impact over there. And it is very clear that in Maharashtra, which threatens to take away the financial capital status of Mumbai, seems to have worked for the BJP. That's what has worked for the BJP. The divide which they have instigated amongst the tribals, the Dhangars, amongst the OBCs and the so-called the Maratha narrative that they were building, this was only to divide. And dividing and ruling has been the forte of the BJP. And we must not forget that 4 months back, the Maharashtra citizens had shown BJP their place. So if this has happened, we need to check out exactly what the reasons are. So I can't really sit here and analyze the entire thing. My party will do it and we will be talking about it. And we have always been transparent. But of course, if you look at the way money was being spent on voters also, like I said about the voters list, these are all things that we need to counter. I'm not saying that it's a win of negative politics only. I also said that for us, it is more important to figure out how we counter this negative politics. I hope that is very clear.
Okay, I will get in Asif Bhamla ji, who is joining us at this point from the BJP as well. I'm also being joined by Chandrasekhar Jha, who's from the Uddhav, from the Shinde Sena faction as well. But Sujata Paul ji, just one point before that. The narrative going into this election within the India, I think questions need to be asked also within the India bloc also as to who's the senior partner, who's the junior partner. The narrative going, and I remember a lot of statements came in from Congress's allies after the Haryana loss, that the Congress needs to take its allies more seriously, it needs to give its allies more respect here. But at the end of the day, the Congress was the best performing partner within the India bloc in the Lok Sabha elections. And it's been one of the better performing, it's neck to neck with the Shiv Sena UBT in the state elections today as well. Many people believe that the UBT faction and the Sharad Pawar faction, the NCP took up seats which are not just winnable at this point. Does this now change the dynamics, Sujata Paul, within the India bloc, that the Congress needs to be taken a bit more seriously and given due respect because of allies? Because at the end of the day, your allies, let's be honest, have let your party down.
You know, if you remember the narrative, I mean it in a positive sense only, that when analysts and media was analyzing which party should be given more importance in the Maharashtra elections, you will agree that a lot of the media also said that Congress needs to take a step back. But yes, we always felt that Congress party not only established democracy in the country, we need to give respect to various regional parties, which we have done. Now it is for the regional parties also to realize this. For us to be big brother and to enforce, force ourselves on various parties would not have been correct. Of course, we want to take everybody together, and I think all the regional parties also need to analyze this and understand that Congress is one party which is clearly recognized as the anti-BJP force, which will never change its stand. And that if the regional parties realize, I think the results, like you said, could have changed somewhat, but that is not the only reason. I won't take it as the only reason. There are other factors, and we need to look at that.
Well, it needs to be said, India bloc has to get its act together. I mean, at the end of the day, Maharashtra is a big setback. Let me also put a caveat, Sujata ji, before you accuse me of just focusing on Maharashtra. The JMM, and the India bloc is doing pretty well in Jharkhand, and that is equally a significant victory as well. But in Maharashtra, because the picture is so lopsided, especially from 6 months, there are a lot more talking points. I'm also welcoming Asif Bhamla and Chandrasekhar Jha at this point, joining me from the two senior parties of the winning Mahayuti alliance at this point here. Let me start with you, Asif Bhamla ji. First and foremost, congratulations to your party. Congratulations to your alliance. We just heard Sujata ji say that this was a good day for us. And she's not... Well, it's a good day for democracy, one would say, because at the end of the day, there are no questions being raised about the fairness of the process in either state. But the refrain that has come in from the Congress spokespersons here has been the fact that a campaign like Ek Hai to Safe Hai ended up polarizing the majority and bringing in negative and divisive politics. And if this is a victory for the Mahayuti, this is a victory for Ek Hai to Safe Hai, it's a victory for divisive politics of hate, negative campaign here. How would the BJP counter this argument?
Firstly, I want to say that Ek Hai to Safe Hai में क्या गलती है? अगर हम सब एक है, हम मतलब उन्होंने ये तो नहीं कहा ना कि आप हिंदू है तो एक है, मुस्लिम है तो एक है, सिख है तो एक है। हम सब एक है। हमारा दुश्मन कौन है? हमारे पड़ोसी है। हम एक है तो सेफ है। इसका नैरेटिव वो भी लिया जा सकता है।
जी, पड़ोसी तो वोट नहीं कर रहे ना। आसिफ जी
आपको आपकी सोच
आसिफ जी, let's not be so global. Asif ji, let's not be so globally that Ek Hai to Safe Hai means Indians against Pakistan. Asif ji, I don't want to interrupt you at all. That is not my interruption at all.
Let me give me time.
But simple point. Are you seriously saying that Ek Hai to Safe Hai was not referring to just the majority community and to all people? Are you seriously saying that Ek Hai to Safe Hai was not referring to just the majority community?
आपकी बात को मैं मानता हूँ। मैं भी एक मुसलमान हूँ, अक़लियत से मैं भी बिलोंग करता हूँ। मेरा आपको यही बोलना है कि देश के प्रधानमंत्री की संकल्पना यही है कि मुसलमान के एक हाथ में कंप्यूटर हो, एक हाथ में कुरान हो। ओके, दूसरी बात, कमिंग बैक टू दिस, आज अगर आपने कोई भी मौलवी को, कोई भी जिसको उलेमा बना के, जिसका नाम भी किसी ने सुना नहीं था, कभी नुमानी या कोई भी, और आपने अगर ये रिप्रेजेंटेशन किया कि भाई इस विधानसभा में इसको चुनकर लाया जाए, उस विधानसभा में उसको चुन के लाया जाए, इस विधानसभा में इसको गिरा दिया जाए, तो ये जब चीजें अगर आप ये दर्शाते हो तो यू आर नॉट डूइंग पोलराइजेशन। और अभी तो छोड़िए, अभी हार गए तो ईवीएम टैंपरिंग हो रहा है और जीत है तो जनता का कॉल है। तो आपके दोहरी नीति का ही तो कारण है कि जनता ने ये जवाब दिया है, करारा और पिछाड़ दिया आपको। आपकी जो नीति है ना, देखिए आज जो है आपने लोकसभा में जो भारी जीत हासिल की, हमने उसका अभिनंदन किया, हमने आत्मरक्षण किया अपना। और उसके अलावा जो है, जब आपने देखा होगा कि फेक नैरेटिव जो है मराठा आरक्षण को लेकर, संविधान को लेकर, जबकि संविधान जो पेपर वो दिखा रहे थे, जो किताब वो दिखा रहे थे, उसके पेपर भी पन्ने भी खाली थे, तो आपने वो उसके बल पे लोगों को बेवकूफ एक बार बनाया आपने।
Asif ji, I would like to interrupt you once again. My apologies. The current Chief Minister speaking. Asif ji, I'm sure you can understand. Eknath Shinde speaking. Let's listen in before I'll come back to you, sir.
जॉर्ज ईयरफोन लगा भाई।
महायुतीला थम्पिंग मेजॉरिटी, मी अगोदरपासून सांगत होतो की थम्पिंग मेजॉरिटी मिळेल, खरं म्हणजे लँडस्लाइड विक्टरी अशा प्रकारचा विजय या ठिकाणी महायुतीला मिळालेला आहे. मी त्याबद्दल तमाम मतदारांचे महाराष्ट्रातल्या मनापासून अभिनंदन करतो आणि माझ्या लाडक्या बहिणी यांचं देखील मनापासून अभिनंदन करतो. लाडक्या बहिणींनी मोठ्या प्रमाणावर मतदान केलं, लाडक्या भावांनी मतदान केलं, लाडक्या शेतकऱ्यांनी मतदान केलं आणि त्याचबरोबर लाडक्या माझ्या ज्येष्ठांनी मतदान केलं. समाजातल्या प्रत्येक घटकाने या ठिकाणी भरभरून महायुतीला मतदान केलं. गेले 2-2.5 वर्ष जे महायुतीने काम केलं त्या कामाची पोचपावती या निवडणुकीमध्ये जनतेने दिली आणि म्हणून महाराष्ट्रातल्या जनतेला मी पुन्हा एकदा त्यांच्या मनापासून आभार मानतो, त्यांना मनापासून धन्यवाद देतो की पूर्णपणे जे काम आम्ही केलं 2.5 वर्षामध्ये त्याचं मोजमाप, नोंद आणि त्याची कामाची पोचपावती या महाराष्ट्रातल्या जनतेने आम्हाला दिलेली आहे. खरं म्हणजे आता आम्ही 2.5 वर्षात जे काम केलं, आता पुढच्या कार्यकाळामध्ये आमची आणखी जबाबदारी वाढली आहे आणि म्हणून जनतेला त्रिवार वंदन करतो आणि माझ्या सर्व कार्यकर्त्यांना देखील महायुतीच्या मनापासून धन्यवाद देतो. महायुतीचे सर्व कार्यकर्ते मनापासून काम करत होते आणि म्हणूनच हा विजय मतदारसंघातल्या कोपरी पाचपकाडी मतदारसंघातले देखील मतदारांना धन्यवाद देतो की खूप मोठ्या लीडने, मार्जिनने त्यांनी मला विजयी करण्याचं काम करतायत आणि त्यामुळे मी पुन्हा एकदा सगळ्यांना मनापासून खूप खूप शुभेच्छा, मनापासून सगळ्यांना सर्व मतदारांचं मनापासून अभिनंदन.
Minister of Maharashtra Eknath Shinde addressing camera person saying that we have got a landslide victory, which is, yes, the fact is that they have got a landslide victory here. And on that note, let me get in my guest who is...
मैंने कहा था कि महायुति को थम्पिंग मेजॉरिटी मिलेगी और इसीलिए मैं तमाम मतदाता जो है, मेरी लाडली बहनों को मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ, लाडले किसानों को मैं धन्यवाद, हमारे भाई है, लाडले सीनियर सिटीजन है, सभी वर्ग जो है, सभी वर्ग को मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ कि उन्होंने ऐसी विजयश्री प्राप्त कर दी है कि न भूतो न भविष्य तो ऐसी विक्ट्री जो इस बार मिली है, जो 2-2.5 साल हमारी महायुति ने काम किया है. ये महायुति ने जो काम किया है उसके काम के ऊपर ये जनता ने शिक्कामोर्तब किया है, काम को तवज्जो दिया है, प्राथमिकता दी है और इसीलिए महायुति को इतनी बड़ी जीत हासिल हुई है. इसलिए मैं महायुति के पूरे महाराष्ट्र की जनता को तो धन्यवाद देता ही हूँ, उनका स्वागत करता हूँ, लेकिन महायुति के सभी कार्यकर्ताओं को भी धन्यवाद देता हूँ. उन्होंने जो काम किया है बहुत ही बढ़िया काम किया है और इस चुनाव में हमारे महायुति को जिताया है, इसलिए मैं बहुत बहुत उनका आभारी हूँ.
All right, let's go now to Mr. Chandrasekhar Jha, who is, of course, our guest who's joining me from the victorious Shiv Sena faction. I beg your pardon, Mr. Chandrasekhar Jha is joining me at this point from the Shiv Sena UBD faction. Chandrasekhar Jha, thank you for speaking to Mirror now. As we see the victorious Shiv Sena, the leader who bears the mantle of the Shiv Sena wing and bears the mantle of the Shiv Sena. Asif ji, if you can mute your camera, I think it's a bit distracting at this point. So, Chandrasekhar Jha, is this now a test of survival right now for the Uddhav faction of the Shiv Sena? Because you have been routed, you're ahead in just 18 to 19 seats. The man who you claim stole the party from the son of Balasaheb Thackeray is on his way to becoming Chief Minister or Deputy Chief Minister, at least for the second time. Is this now the biggest challenge Uddhav Saheb Thackeray has ever faced in his career?
See, the elections show the way that whether the party has the level of confidence or not. So we expect that there is some kind of introspection which is required in the party. And further, I would like to add on to this that now the elections does not have any moral ethics or any kind of ethics being carried on. So this introspection should also be done, because if we see the elections in Maharashtra, what has been carried on by the ruling dispensation, that no moral, no ethics, nothing has been categorically been done by them, or they have attached themselves to the such moral and ethics.
What is? I would like you to be specific, Mr. Jha. What is this lack of no morals, no ethics at this point? Because unfortunately, to our viewers, this may come across as sour grapes. It is not a close election where allegations of EVM tampering or some fraud malpractice can be leveled here. A landslide victory of 4:1. What is the lack of morals, lack of ethics you're talking about, sir?
See, the party was broken up. And it was broken up by BJP. It is very well known how it has been done, what was the condition, what was done. But eventually, if we see that nowadays elections does not have happen on the basis of any moral ethics, we did not expected any sympathy from anyone. But we expected that this kind of result would not happen. And there was cash involved in the vote. And everything shows that there is no moral or ethics is left in any elections. So we should introspect on such aspects also. And eventually we will accept the challenge. Let us not get into the feeding that after 5 years or after 4 years we are over, or in these elections we are over. But we'll come back and we'll give a fitting reply to this non-availability of moral and ethic elections. And we will come back. That is the major portion which we want to stress on.
But I still fail to understand. There was apparently a lot of sympathy for Uddhav Sahib 6 months ago, a lot of sympathy for Sharad Pawar Sahib 6 months ago for losing their parties. Suddenly in 6 months, all the sympathy has been lost. I do have follow-up questions to you as well, Mr. Jha, but let me bring in Dr. Uday Nirgudkar. I have not gone to him for a while. Dr. Uday, do you see that the writing is on the wall now for at least the Shiv Sena of the UBT faction, if not the NCP, the Sharad Pawar faction, because it couldn't be a more stunning, a more decisive mandate. For the record, even in the Lok Sabha elections, the Shinde Sena got more seats than the Uddhav Sena at this point here. Do you now see that the two Senas will now merge and perhaps Uddhav Thackeray will be left in the dark?
I have exactly 10 points to make, and allow me a couple of minutes to explain these 10 points to our audience. Number one, currently now the UBT spokesperson said that we accept this decision. Sometime back, their own spokesperson, the Vishwa spokesperson in fact, was saying we don't accept this. At least now after a couple of hours, they have come to a conclusion and terms with the reality of life that they accept and they want to build a party. But please understand, both the Thackeray sons and Scions are at this point of time trailing, and I hope they do better and they make it bright for their parties. But at this point of time, they both are trailing. Number three, you talked about sympathy wave for Uddhav Thackeray in Lok Sabha. Please understand, in 2014, all parties fight separately. Uddhav Thackeray gets 13%. When they fight together with BJP, they get 18.5%. And in Lok Sabha this time, Eknath Shinde of those votes walks away with 13.5% votes. If the sympathy was with Uddhav Thackeray, how come it is not reflecting in the number of votes they have got? Please understand, Eknath Shinde has not only walked away with the symbol, with the MLAs, with the Nagar Sevak, with the member of the parliament, with the party cadre, but with the voter also. And that is evident from this election. And that is evident from this voting. What Sena UBT need to do is a straight introspection. Will people accept them hosting Ajan Spardha? Will they accept Janab Uddhav Thackeray slogans? Please understand, their forefather who once was not allowed to vote for championing Hindu cause, and here you are coming out and championing the exactly 360 reversal. They need to do introspect. More importantly, they will have to make efforts to keep the flock together. Keep the flock together, not for lure of any ED, not the fear of any ED or anything. not the lure of power, but simply losing the ideological sight and the focus. That has costed them dearly, in my opinion. Please understand, those who were in power with you, left their plum positions in the ministry to go and be with the BJP when they didn't know will they be able to form the government or not. Why they risk their life? Why they risk their political career? They risk their life and political career because they saw the ideal deviation. They saw the denial of association with BJP that was paining their future. So what they need to do is to get their house right and ideological corrections done immediately. Same goes with NCP, Sharad Pawar gut. Unless they get their act together, their flow will also disperse ASAP because they come with their fiefdoms. उनके एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूट्स है, डेयरी है, शुगर फैक्ट्रीज है, ये सारा इकोसिस्टम चलाने के लिए उन्हें सत्ता की जरूरत है. They will not be able to survive
as they
without
say,
it.
Dr. Uday, politics is, as they said, Dr. Uday, politics is often winner take all, and you have made some very scathing points which I'd invite Mr. Jha to respond also. But Asif Bhamlaji, I think, wanted to make a point. Asif ji wanted to come in. Asif ji, I think you're on mute, Asif ji now. Sorry, मैंने ही आपको बोला था mute पर होने के लिए, but अभी आप mute पर हो.
So during the Lok Sabha election, the false narrative that was used for the Marathas, for for all that they did in the last election. This time, what happened is the BJP, the Mahayuti, you see, they were able to correct many shortcomings and the follies that we had. While the confidence of the Maha Vikas Aghadi was so high after winning the Lok Sabha elections, and they went on total different dizzy. We, on the other hand, were concentrating on ground, on grassroots to ensure that